Without further ado, thank you, Ray, for being here today. And everybody, if you're just now getting on, please say hello in the chat. Tell us where you're coming from so we know where all of our friends are coming here from all around the world. And Ray, thank you for being here with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. And Absolutely. Congrats on your guys' success. You guys are crushing it. So congrats.
Oh, it's been so fun. It's been a wild ride. It's been a crazy last few years, actually. I mean, just the timing of everything was just astronomical. But we are very blessed, very excited to be here with all of our wonderful affiliates who are here today. We've got, let's see, people from Alabama, South Africa in the house. We got Phoenix, Arizona. Ray, where are you coming from today?
I am originally from Indiana, but I live in Florida.
Nice. My family's from Indiana too. We have a lot of Hoosier jokes in our family. I don't know if you do too, but
nice. Awesome.
And we leave our butter out. We don't put it in the fridge. I don't know. I feel like I learned that from my Hoosier grandparents. So all right, you guys.
I'm not aware of that tradition.
No, not aware of that. Maybe it's just my weird family then. Welcome, you guys. We got Des Moines, Iowa in the house. All right, you guys. I know everybody's still piling on, but we like to keep these things right at an hour or under. So let's get this party started. All right. You guys, I have a lot of questions for Ray today. He's an industry trainer that I've admired and looked up to, and he has a little 4-year-old girl and a little 9-month-old son. So I'm on the same path right now with Zoe and then our new baby coming here in August. But you guys, I know we all have so many questions for him. If you have questions, please put them in the comments. I'll try to get to them. We'll see if Ray can answer some of them at the end, but I do have my questions here we're going to get to today. So Ray, without further ado, my first question for you is this. Tell us a little bit about your background. Before you became the #1 community, rank makers, which is what you're known for now, and 2-time best-selling author, right? So we want to know kind of what's your background? What did you do before you became kind of an industry trainer?
Yeah. So, these last few months have been, a lot of crisis and pandemic and, a lot of craziness going on. My network marketing career was born out of crisis in that I had been in real estate for quite a few years. And then here in the state of Florida, and then when the 2008 real estate crash happened, I got completely wiped out. And what I mean by wiped out, because sometimes you don't know the context of it, I had nothing in my bank account. I emptied my 401k. I emptied my IRA that I'd had since I was 19 years old. I sold my furniture, still went into foreclosure, also went through a divorce at that same time. And so I, at one point, was sleeping on my buddy's couch. I'm very grateful for my buddy Chris out of Cape Coral, Florida, that invited me to check out his network marketing opportunity, which I had admittedly sworn off of. I had said I'll never do network marketing again, but here I am. I'm broke. My credit's shot. No one's hiring. I don't have any kind of money to start anything, and it was a great time for me to get serious about network marketing. And long story short, I did become the #1 incomer in that company. And then 4 years ago, my wife and I decided to focus on being trainers, and so we did retire from actively building any network marketing team back in 2016. And so now we have Rank Makers, which we're very proud of, and that kind of is a real condensed story.
That's so, your story is not unlike anybody else's. It seems like that's really reached the top in network marketing, myself included. I was at rock bottom, struggling. I had filed for bankruptcy. I had sworn off of network marketing. I tried it a few times. I failed miserably and was like, maybe this isn't for me. And, even we talked to Eric Worre last week and we talked to Todd Falcone the week before that. They all have similar stories. It's all, we came to network marketing in a place of desperation, and for some people, they're like, I don't know if I can, make this work. But I think when you have no other options, you have to sink or swim. And there's no better time to get in network marketing when you're in that spot for sure. But let's shift gears a little bit. Now that you're an industry trainer and you've got your books, you've got, your training that you're doing with everybody in Rank Makers. I know you've got a 14-day challenge coming up.
Yeah.
What would you say is an event or a book or a mentor or somebody, that have helped shape your career in network marketing. What do you look for like your guidance? How did you learn network marketing?
Yeah, it's interesting because when I first came into network marketing, I had success in real estate, and I looked at what I knew about sales and marketing and what top earners knew, and I'm like, man, I know way more than them. And so I came in thinking that I know it all, like this is just going to work. And um, there's an element in network marketing that is rarely taught, I think, correctly. That is the key ingredient for network marketing, and that is culture. I learned culture from a gentleman named Larry Thompson, who joined network marketing the same night, same hotel that Jim Rohn joined network marketing. And he is, from my perspective, the best trainer on culture that I've ever experienced. And so I learned culture from him, which was that piece that was missing. I understand for a long time I've understood marketing, sales, psychology, persuasion, but I didn't understand why is there retention problems, and why do some people want to run and others don't, and how come there's this feeling of frustration amongst most leaders, and that's culture. So I would say mentor for network marketing. I've had a lot of mentors over the years, but for network marketing specifically, it was Larry Thompson. As far as book, probably I'm actually rereading it right now, which is very timely. But probably the most impacting book on me personally, which also translates to business, is Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. The language she used in that, written in 1957, it gave me language that I'd never had access to. And so as far as, blowing my mind and saying, yeah, that makes sense, that book was very influential for me. Not necessarily applicable to network marketing per se, but impacted me a lot.
So I asked Eric this last week, and I'm just curious to see what your answer to this is. When it comes to skill-based versus mindset, where do you think, that split kind of works for network marketing? Because there's some trainers, that's all they do. They talk about mindset. I'm one of them. Like, I do talk about skills sometimes, but I also know that without, the right mindset going into your, company or into a network marketing company, it's very difficult to succeed. You've been very kind of skill focused as well. And, as far, at least some of the training that I've seen, blogging and, some of things like that, what do you feel like is most important when it comes to kind of learning the skills and mindset for network marketing?
So so it's interesting, and this, so everything that you do involves promotion and marketing, right? And so a lot of our even skill-based things, we market them as skill-based things, and we teach skill-based things, but skill-based training alone is never actually the answer. You have to combine skill and mindset, in that there are a lot of who was it, Roosevelt called educated derelicts. There's a lot of people that have been trained on skills, and they can quote you, what skills, they even know NLP, and they know all kinds of skill sets, but they haven't cracked their case. They haven't cracked their programming of why they make decisions, of why when their dad abandoned them, that is driving their decisions today. So mindset is always the unlocker, always, 100% of the time. However, people seek skills because they think, oh, that's what I need. I need better words. I need a better script. I need a better this or that. So as a promoter, you should be talking about, skills. But on the inside, you do need mindset in there. And it's always the X factor, under cracking into mindset, which is, 2020 has been a deep dive into mindset stuff for me, is the unlocker. Because there's a lot of people that just learn to learn, and they'll learn the next strategy, they'll learn the next skill set, they'll learn the next skill set, but they'll never do anything with it until they crack that code of, why do I make decisions? What is my automatic programming?
Yeah, absolutely. And, like same for me, you came from the real estate background, so you already had some sales training. You already knew a little bit about marketing. I mean, anybody that's good at real estate has to already know how to build up a clientele, how to run with leads, all that. I came from the insurance background, had to do the same thing to grow a book of business. So that wasn't new to me. But when I joined network marketing, I was the person that sat in the back of the room and rolled my eyes at all the mindset training. I was just like, okay, I've heard this before. I know I got to believe in myself, blah, blah, blah. And that was the one thing that literally held me back from my success. So absolutely agree. It is the unlocker, but you got to have best of both worlds to make it happen.
It has to be, because there's a lot of things you have to understand the audience's propensity for repetition of a lot of people would call mindset just repeating phrases that have been said for decades, and the people are immune to that. So most of the mindset stuff, you really have to dig to find solid mindset training now. You got to dig, because a lot of it is just, it's phrases that have been said for years that most people are just immune to. Yes, I agree with that, but they don't really understand what they're even saying. But they've heard it so many times that it doesn't change anything. And so it's a challenge as a trainer to get inside and inject actual mindset training sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be able to explain it in a way people can actually hear it. Scrolling through Pinterest, you see thousands of inspirational quotes.
Right.
People grab them, they post them on Facebook, they think it's revolutionary, but it's the same 5 quotes that we hear over and over again. So
right.
How you take that information and break it down, like you said, as a trainer is an art in itself. And if you guys are hearing this and you're like, well, I'm not a trainer, you may be someday. And part of becoming a leader in network marketing is also being able to take the lessons you learn and run with them, turn it into massive action, and then be able to educate your team so that it duplicates. Speaking of team, go ahead.
I will give one quick example on skill set, though, real quick. I have seen people that just aren't super amazingly skilled that have made millions and millions and millions of dollars. You ask them, hey, what's Pignaginol? And they're like, you know what, but it makes me feel good. How do you explain the comp plan? You know what, they pay me every week. I don't even know. And so I've seen very, very educated people that can, have skill sets and knowledge and everything. And I've seen people that they just are consistently talking to people. And so it's interesting what can succeed or who can succeed in network marketing. It really is a varied people that can succeed in network marketing.
That is a good point for sure. They say ignorance on fire beats knowledge on ice, right? We say this all the time in network marketing, because the people that are like, I don't know everything, but just get in now and give it a shot, take a tour, look at my website, whatever. They're talking to hundreds of people a day with no fear. That's going to get way more results than being the professional meeting attender or somebody that's always preparing to work, for sure. Right. Speaking of kind of like a daily method of operation, we talk about this a lot in network marketing. What would you say is the ideal daily method of operation for the newest person coming into network marketing, and also for the more experienced person that maybe has been a veteran for a long time?
Yeah. So for the new person, I'll just tell you what I did. And it was simple, 3 things. That's it. I had read a book called Go for No, and I'm like, you know what? This makes sense. Go for no. Just collect as many no's. And it's basically to get you over your fear of rejection, and to also statistically get you talking to more people and get closer to a yes. And so I read a book called Go for No. And it's interesting because some trainers will say, well, that's bad. I want yeses and I'm skilled enough, right? Actually, even really skilled people, if they go for no, they will have to talk to more people. So it actually works for them too. But I'd read this book and I'm like, you know what? This makes sense to me. I'm going to go for 20 no's a day. And so that was number 1. That was part 1 of my daily method of operation. Now, 20 no's a day is a lot. Over the years, I've only had, to be honest, I think I've only had one person actually take me up on 20 no's a day, and he became $1 million earner. So 20 no's a day is intense. Most people are not going to do it. So go for 2 no's a day, 5 no's a day if you want. I hated prospecting. I did it because I was broke and I was sick of my girlfriend paying my bills. But I hated prospecting. I wanted to get people reaching out to me. And so I decided that I was going to do a video a day. That was on July 15th of 2009, and I've never stopped. So I've done at least one video a day for almost 11 years now. And, in some days more than one, but I've done at least one for, next month will be 11 years. The reason that I did that is I knew at some point it would work. I knew at some point people would see my videos and start reaching out to me. The first few months sucked. Mom was like, keep going, you can do it. But no one was reaching out. And it was a good 4.5 months in before I got any kind of decent lead. I don't know if I got many leads at all the first 4.5 months, but on like month 4.5, close to 5, I had a gentleman reach out that actually did end up becoming my number one income earner. But what's interesting about that, and people will hear 4 months and they'll be like, well, I've been in it 4 months and I'm not getting anything. I had done 120 videos. Most don't do 120 videos in their career. And I'd done that in 4 months. And so I didn't care. I didn't check my gauges. I didn't check the views or comments, or some of the comments hurt. But I just kept going. I'm going to keep doing this until it works. And then you fast forward maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and I was generating 3,000 leads a month with no ads. So I wasn't running any ads, and I'm not saying that that's the right way, but I was generating 3,000 leads a month from all of those different videos placed all over the internet, and I wasn't spending any money on ads. That's what happens when you're like ridiculously consistent. And then number 3 is self-development. So 20 no's a day, a video a day, and self-development. And back when I started, I'm broke. So I'm going through the crazy free YouTube circus where one conflicts another and you're like confused. So I was doing library books and free YouTube videos. As soon as I started making money, I would buy a course. I would buy, I think month 5 was my first $10,000 a month. And I got a coach. And then now, we invest, we still to this day invest a lot in mentoring. I think a lot of people may know of last year I hired Grant Cardone for $100,000 for 6 hours. So $17,000 an hour. That's a little much. But I'll tell you, hour one, I'm 10x my investment. And so I still do a video a day. I still invest heavily in self-development. I did not stick to the 20 no's a day. I'll be honest. If I did, I would have a bigger business today.
So I have some questions based on that response.
Sure.
I know everybody's probably thinking the same thing. Your 20 no's, how do you go through people telling you no without becoming an emotional wreck? I remember my days going door to door, trying to get sales literally, and having to get back in my car and play this book on repeat so that I can get my mindset right before I go to the next door. What was your method to kind of get back up again after getting knocked down every single day?
And I do have one other thing that I would say for leaders, because you did ask about leaders. I kind of learned this in real estate, to be honest. And I also went door to door. I had an advertising franchise and was going door to door to businesses, at least selling ads. And, I had learned, like, if you read like Herbert Cohen on negotiation, he's written several, he's like a political negotiator and a hostage negotiator too. But he wrote several books on negotiating. And he says, when negotiating, you want to care, but not that much. And so I kind of adopted that in real estate sales. So like when I was calling people, because I was an investor, not a realtor. And so I'm looking to buy low, sell high. And there were days, where I was making a couple hundred calls a day. It's not a big deal. And most of them are saying no. Some are cursing you out, but most are saying no. And so I just built that muscle. So when I came into network marketing, and this is an energy that I would encourage people to embrace, is instead of, a million years ago, I stopped looking at how do I close someone. And instead, I'm just like, I want to see if they're open. If they're open, I'll move forward. If they're not open, I'll move on. It's not a big deal. Now, I'm not going to insult them. I'm not going to, be mad about it or whatever. But think about the waiter or waitress. When they come around, they say, hey, you want a slice of key lime pie? They're not all distraught if you say no. They're not like, well, why not? They would have a very short career. It's like you're seeing if they're open. If they're open, great, move forward. If they're not, move on. It's just not a big deal. It's not personal. And I think that, I've always been honed to not expect favors or support. I'm like, if I have something that's of value to you, then move forward. My past should have zero indication of if you do business with me or not. So if you see merit in what I have and you want to do it, awesome. If you do not, that's fine. I didn't hold grudges or shame my warm market into you should support me. That's just not how I roll. It's like, if you see merit, move forward. And if you don't, that's fine. We can still be friends. It's fine. And so I think just a couple of those attitudes is what helped. And that book, which is interesting, I didn't mention, but the authors of that book, my friends Richard and Andrea, have heard me tell that story. They came to me a few years ago and said, hey, we should do a book together. So we actually now have a book, Go for No for Network Marketing, that I co-authored, with those original authors, which is, pretty neat.
That's awesome. I think sometimes people are really attached to the outcome, which is why they're afraid to go for no. But also, not just that, they're also afraid that they're going to run out of leads. So there's a lot hanging on the one lead. And if all of them turn into no's, like, how do you get more leads, right? How do you not run out of people? When you first started network marketing and you had to talk to, I'm assuming, hundreds of people a day, 20 no's, but probably you talk to more than that, right?
Oh, yeah.
How do you not run out of people? Because you gotta not run out of people if you're not gonna be bothered by no's. What's your kind of answer?
Yeah, and there's two pillars of building really any business: plumbing business, network marketing business, real estate, prospecting and marketing. And I was in the beginning, I was very active with reaching out, prospecting, cold market, warm market, whoever I would run into. I was working on my marketing, but my marketing wasn't working yet. So I was doing videos. No one was responding. No one was watching them. They were terrible anyway. And, and so I was working on that. But it's interesting. People, that talk about this as, hey, where do you get these leads? Well, we're at an age where even the worst networker on planet Earth has thousands of people at their fingertips. Now, I want you to just, one of my good friends, Taylor Thompson, she used to tell me, and she built a very big business in network marketing. How she used to get her prospects is when she needed a prospect, she would go to the grocery store with her 3 kids. She would throw them in the grocery cart, push around, prospect, hit her number, remove kids from grocery cart, and leave. She wouldn't even buy anything. My friend Rob, who's working 90 hours a week and had 2 kids at home, he would only prospect when he was in his company truck and filling up the gas. So when he was when he needed to fill up for gas, he would look for the busiest gas station, pull into there and pump and be like, hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, nice car. Hey, you live around here? And he built a successful business in network marketing. And so now it's just much easier, right, than those scenarios. You don't have to go to the mall and do surveys. You can, I've recruited people on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, TripAdvisor, MySpace. I've recruited people from all over, Craigslist. And so it's just about, if you understand sales positioning and you understand even, just basic reaching out to human beings, then you are unable to reach out to all the people you're actually connected to. And if you have solid follow-up, then, you have plenty of people to reach out to, for sure.
Awesome. So you did talk about your videos. You did the 1 video a day. How on earth do you not run out of things to talk about? And what were your videos kind of like? You said they're terrible back then. I'm sure they're not terrible now. Lots of years of practice, right? But if somebody wants to do this, they're going to take your advice. They're going to do a video a day. What do you suggest? What do they talk about? What do they do? If they're brand new, they don't have, lots of wisdom to share maybe yet. Where do they start?
Yeah. So the thing that's infinitely more powerful than creativity is commitment. And so before commitment, you'll struggle with creativity because you'll think, well, what am I going to talk about? With commitment, creativity dies away. So when you say, I commit, I'm going to do a damn video no matter what happens, then you locate a topic. And we teach a very, very simple concept called ILT, invest, learn, teach. So you invest your time, possibly money, to learn something, then you teach it. So it could be as simple as the next time you're at the grocery store, look to your left and right. those magazines that are positioned there are the highest selling magazines in the store. That's why they're there. So it means they have the best headlines. So you could look over and just take a look at the 4 fruits that help with love handles, and that could be a topic. You go home and Google it and find out 4 things for love handles. And so it's just not reliant, and we actually suggest against, which is a little contrary to some of what we used to teach many, many, many years ago. We suggest against positioning yourself as an expert, because the more expert you are, the more people think that's what they have to be. And there's a lot of people in network marketing that their upline is a doctor, or their upline is an author, or their upline is just a brilliant scientist and can answer every health question on the planet Earth. And so they feel like, well, I don't know all that. I'm not that smart. And so it's just a lot better to say, hey, y'all, I was on Google the other day and I found 4 exercises to help your lower back. Let's go. And you actually share that you just stumbled upon something that anybody in the world can do, and you translate that. And so it becomes less about what do I know and what can I speak on, and it becomes more about who do I want to attract. Let me go Google what I think might help them and then just share it. And so it's just a much easier formula. And that is what we kind of talk about in much greater depth in the 14-day challenge. But it's much more about commitment. Commitment destroys the need for creativity. And it sounds weird. It sounds like, how is that even possible? But it is. It's like when you decide, I'm going to do, and maybe it's not a video a day because that's lunatic, but maybe 3 videos a week. Most people could do that if they committed to that.
So not every video has to be about network marketing if I'm a network marketer.
If I honestly, if I had to do it over, I would not do it about network marketing, only because it's media limiting. So I know that, we'll get featured in the paper and newspapers and things like that because of our charities we're involved in, but we just don't get media coverage, like, real media coverage from network marketing, because it's not super media friendly. I would much rather, for example, there's this girl, Sherry, who went through one of my blogging trainings, and she started blogging about her weight loss journey, and she ended up on the Rachel Ray Show. See, that's possible, and that's awesome. So, like with what you guys do, I think I personally wouldn't be talking about network marketing so much. I would look at what are some other things, because there's not a lot of people other than the incestuous network marketing crowd that's looking for network marketing training. If I was building a team right now, I wouldn't actually, that wouldn't be my main scope of focus.
That's really interesting because, for, most people, myself included, even on my lives, I tend to stick to the topics that I know. It would be so weird if I was just like one day showed up and started talking about love handles. But at the same time, you never know who's interested in what. I think it's important to know your audience to see kind of what they're interested in also. If you don't have an audience, square one, you're just starting out. You can literally just go into any direction and keep people engaged. So my next question, kind of following up with that, is, did you have fear of being on video every day, and how did you get over that? Or were you just always like, hey, this is me, I'm good to go? Because most people are terrified to go live, on Facebook.
Well, the fear kind of goes back. There's like 2 levels of fear for me. I was mortified and terrified of public speaking first. And in fact, the first time, not that it was some big, amazing public speech, but I was working for a county government. This was probably 2002, maybe. I was working for a county government as a junior project manager. And my boss, who I really looked up to, said, hey, I'd like you to give a project update in front of the department. And I'm like, what? And that just terrified the living hell out of me. These were people that I worked with every day for, years, 5 years at that point, maybe. And I was terrified. 3 nights I didn't sleep. I read all these books on public speaking, and I go in there. I somehow develop a stutter. I spill water on my shirt. But one thing I clung to was that in every speaking book that exists on planet Earth, they say, if you mess up, nobody knows. I'm like, ooh, at least I got that. And then afterwards, my boss said, Ray, can I ask you a question? Are you on drugs? And I'm like, And I just wanted to quit. I just wanted to get the hell out of there. But instead I enrolled in Toastmasters. I enrolled in a speaking class, et cetera, and got better. The first video I ever did, I had a buddy that I had helped in real estate, and he was very successful affiliate marketer. He was, this was, what year was this? 2000, probably 2008. 2008, he's making $10,000 a day from just affiliate stuff, just like pop, 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 just killing it. Craigslist, weird stuff. And he's like, hey man, you help me in real estate. I can help you with, with internet marketing stuff. I'm like, all right. And keep in mind, I'm broke, $1 million in debt, chased by bill collectors. My life sucks. I'm drinking heavily every night. And I'm like, yeah, he doesn't know how broke I am, but I was like, great. And so, he gives me some pointers and stuff. And so I do a video, and, I thought, like, speaking, you had to impress people. So I had a suit, tie on, and I didn't want to blow it. So I had a script that I taped to the back of the camera. And so, camera's, here, right? So my eyes are up here. I'm like, hi, I'm Ray Higdon. Do you struggle with generating leads online? Let me help you. And so I get it done. I'm like, yes, got it done, nailed it. And so I send it to him, and I said, hey man, what do you think? And his response was, LOL, you should totally post that. And I'm like, and I reached out to him like, hey, he's like, oh my God, that was so hilarious. You should totally post that, man. Wow, that was amazing. And he couldn't even fathom, and I never told him, he couldn't even fathom that was a serious video that I was trying to like submit. And so, I just did one crappy video after another until I got better. I mean, my first videos, the sun is like right behind my head. You can't even see my face. I'm out in the wind. I'm like a weather reporter. Hey, Ray Higdon here. You can't even make it out. You can't even tell what the hell I'm saying. And so like, it's just fumbling forward terribly until you get better.
Okay, did you guys hear that? Because literally, he didn't start out as some like golden,
Terrible.
perfect,
Terrible.
anchorman. It didn't start out that way. And for me too, like I look at my old videos, thank God people can't find my last name from a while ago. But if you find me on YouTube, those videos are terrible, and I don't know how to get them off. Somebody else put them on. And I've already said to you, however, yeah,
don't remove
terrible.
them because no one believes me. Like, so my first YouTube account got shut down. My second YouTube account got shut down. And so I don't have my old videos. I wish I did, because that is inspiration. Like if you have access to them, you should totally share them. You'll be embarrassed, yes, but you will give so much hope to people. People will say, oh my God, I think I'm better than that. And it'll give them hope. I wish I could do that, but I don't have access to them.
So you guys, to get through your fear, you just have to do it. There's no other way around it. You can read all the books, you can study all the material, you can take all the classes. Some of it will help, but experience is key. That brings me to my next question. Why do people fail at MLM? Because everybody's afraid to try network marketing because they already assume that it's not going to work or that it's a scam, right? We get that all the time. But what do you think? You've been in the industry for a long time. You've worked with lots of different companies now at this point. You've been on the stages of many different companies. What do you think is a common factor for why people don't make it in network marketing?
Well, first you would, and this actually comes back to like daily method of operation around leadership too, but you first have to determine, what does that mean? Make it, succeed. Because that often comes from, what we would call like a 5% or someone who wants to make, $25,000 or more a month. And they're like, why aren't my people making it? Why aren't my people successful? Which will then translate in their head to, why aren't they happy? And the truth is, the majority of people join network marketing not to make millions of dollars because they don't believe they can. They join to belong. They join to belong, to be a part of a mission, to be a part of a movement, to be they're sick of their butthole neighbors, and they're tired of their coworkers that suck, and their family never listens to them. They like being part of positive people. And so like, is that Did they not make it? Are they not successful? Are they unhappy? A lot of them aren't. But if you operate like everyone must be $1 million earner, or they're not happy because that's how I am, then you will deem them unhappy when they're not. You will show up in a manner that makes them feel like a disappointment. It's like the successful accountant, but the parent wanted him to be a doctor. It's not too late. You could still go to medical school, Barry. And so it's you can make people feel like disappointments when they're not actually disappointed, and make them feel like they don't belong here. And so like that's kind of step one, is understanding that people operate on different levels of desire. So, when I was in the corporate world, I'm like, how high can we go? Let me climb the ranks. But there were people, I remember this lady, Judy, she had been a secretary for 24 years and she wasn't going anywhere, and she wasn't interested in management. She didn't want no one beat her up, and no one said she was unhappy. But in network marketing, if you come in and you've been in for years, and you haven't created a big level of success, some leader somewhere will be like, oh, for how long have you been at this? How come you haven't moved up further? And you're like, I don't know, I'm kind of having fun here. And so you got to be careful with projecting an insane level of desire upon others. And because a lot of our if you're wanting to make 6 figures a month or 7 figures a month, you're a lunatic. And that's okay. It's okay to be a lunatic. I'm a lunatic. I want to build a business that impacts hundreds of millions of people. And as long as there's blood pumping through my veins, I'm going to continue that journey because I'm a lunatic. Not everyone is lunatic. Most people aren't lunatics. And so if they're totes cool, if they're making a couple $100, they're totes cool if they're just part of something cool and meet some good friends. And so you have to watch your level of desire projection on others. A lot of people are being taught wrong. They're being taught that, every person that joins your team, you got to get checking their hands right away. Well, that creates an energy and expectation that actually hurts your retention very badly. It might be the biggest killer of retention, is you pushing your level of desire on everybody. Instead, find out what is their level of desire. Give them homework. Hey, go do this, report back in. If someone said to me, you know what, I'm just going to, chill in the group, kind of learn some stuff, I'd be like, cool, man, rock and roll, brother. I'm here for you if you need me. And I wouldn't say, oh, listen here, buddy, and who gets this better than most network marketing leaders, at least, is the gym owner. If I go into the gym and I do 5 minutes on the row machine, and then I go get my 2200 peanut butter banana chocolate shake, and then I take an Instagram selfie and I leave, what does the gym owner do? Does the gym owner say, lift your shirt, boy, go do some deadlifts? Or does he say, way to kill it, bud, good seeing you? Why? Why does he not care about my level of desire? I'm offended. Well, he cares about my my membership, and he's totally cool with my level of desire. Now, if I went to that gym owner and said, hey, I want to get diesel, bro, I want to tear it up, he'd say, well, we got CrossFit, you can flip tires, you can, go over here, and then you got personal trainer here. He would point, guide, and direct me to different resources, tools, and homework so that I could get diesel, rip, 6-pack, etc. And so the gym owner, much smarter than most network marketing leaders who think they're operating a sales organization, and it's not that simple. It's not as simple as you carrying around a flip chart with, hey, get to work, boy, you're not making sales. There are people that will stay in your team for 27 years, never make a dime, and actually be happy they're there because they're part of something cool. You have to understand that as a leader if you want to make the big money. My take. That's my take.
Yeah, that's gold. I mean, if you think about it, everybody's got different goals. Some people want to make, $10 a month. Some people want to make $10,000 a month. And it's really not for us as the upline to judge that person. I get the question all the time, and it's, why won't my team do anything? My team will not do anything. I can't get them to produce. I can't get them to climb the ranks. I can't get them to blah, blah, blah. And my question my answer to them is, well, find a new team, just keep building, keep finding, new people that want to take that journey, because not everybody wants to take that journey.
Right.
And, Robert Hollis said on our stage last year, he said, you can milk your cow to death, and keep hoping that you can get more milk out of the cow, or you can just keep getting more cows. That's the smartest thing to do. Not put all your eggs in one basket and then cry about the production of your team.
Right.
It's just go get more cows, and work with maybe different cows that maybe align to your level of production that you're also trying to to lead by. So I think that's
Amen.
so important. We don't need to beat people up in this industry. We don't need to make them hate network marketing and have,
Right.
so much, pressure on them to become the number one income earner. That's a big weight, a big title for somebody to strive for if they're not even interested to begin
Right.
with. So I think
Right.
it takes time to, you have to get to know your people. You got to find out what their actual goals are. That's part of being a good mentor. It's part of being a good upline. So great answer. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm seeing the comments. Everybody's like, this is gold. Absolutely. So here's my next question. Prospecting related. How do you pique somebody's interest in, in an opportunity? Now, without knowing all the details, of course, of our company or our opportunity, what is kind of like a good opening line people can kind of run with as far as piquing interest? I know you're very good at like getting to know the person. You're like you said earlier, I just see if they're open or not. What is the conversation before if they're open or not, or before they decide?
So what's the scenario? Is it someone you know, someone you don't know? Is it a lead are you trying to get a lead, someone to reach out to you through social media or something? Like
Let's talk about brand new people. Maybe we've been friends on Facebook for a long time, but we don't have really any rapport. I've maybe seen a couple posts of theirs. They've maybe seen a couple of mine, but they're still very much cold market.
Yeah. So, the number, there's multiple layers of this, and I'll quickly cover. So leaders, I would, because I'm about to give an answer that not all leaders will agree with. But leaders, one thing to be aware of is influence privilege, right? And so I hear often influencers that say, you shouldn't do cold messaging. Cold messaging is disgusting and terrible. You should never do cold messaging. And it's because they have influence privilege. And a lot of people aren't aware of privileges, right? We're seeing, there's a lot of talk about this nowadays in our society. But influence privilege means you don't need to do that, so you think that no one else needs to do that. Well, I can assure you, some people need to do that. And some people do not have friends and family members that are at all supportive or even want to connect with people. And so when you shoot down an entire method of prospecting and say cold messaging bad, you're killing many people in your organization that could have made money, but because you suffer from influence privilege and you're not aware that not everyone else kills it on Instagram or whatever, then you're having a problem. And so we teach cold messaging all the time because it's the simplest. I assume you have absolutely nothing, and they can follow this. If my training only worked for influencers, then I'm not a very good trainer. My training has to work for the person that quit third grade, for the person that is, doesn't have a whole lot of friends, doesn't have a whole lot of skills, have never read a book on business or social media, et cetera. So that being said, if you have other methods that work for you, certainly do them. But it's seeing who's open in a non-spammy way, okay? And so to answer that, you have to first answer what is spam, because I found that people don't actually understand what that means. They think that a cold message is spam, just any cold message. So that would mean that any person you ever walk up to that you don't know offline is also spam, and that doesn't make sense. And so spam is assuming the position of the prospect without any evidence. Assuming the position of the prospect without any evidence. So if a guy walks up to the girl at the hotel bar and says, I got a room upstairs, that's assuming the position of the prospect without any evidence. But if he goes up and says, hey, can I buy you a drink? Are you here with anyone? Is that spam? No, that's seeing, are they open? Let me locate the position of this prospect, right? And so how do you do that in a way that is duplicatable? The minute you say, go build rapport and get people to know, like, and trust you, you have lost 80% of your organization, because 80% of your organization are not great communicators. They're just not. And if you assume, like, yeah, everyone's been through How to Win Friends and Influence People and everyone's good at networking, they're not. They're not good at networking. This is why they need to go to cold market, and no judgment. I recruited a lot of people from cold market and warm market, both. Why not? Because there's always more people that you don't know than you do. So if I was going to reach out to someone that I knew, right? So it's like you're saying that you know them a little bit, not a whole lot. You've been connected for a little bit. I would keep it very simple, and I would try to locate their openness. And so I might say something like, hey, Jenna, we've been connected for a little bit, and although we haven't had any in length discussions or anything, I realized that I've never come to you and shared what it is that I do. I actually help people make extra money from home, totally part time. And listen, I don't know if that's something you're at all open to or would have any interest level at all at. If you do, I'd be happy to share it with you. And if not, totally cool. Love you either way. Let me know. Now, the question is that spammy? Now, I wouldn't include a link because I'm not assuming the position. Okay. I'm just finding out, are they open to going down the journey or are they not? Now, if they say no, I'm going to say, totes cool. Love your hat today. Keep rocking, girl. I'm not going to say, well, why not? How come you're not? I'm not going to say, but it's ground floor and it's tearing it up, right? I'm not going to say any of that nonsense because that's out of position. And that's why people struggle with sales is they just don't understand position. So if I say, hey, are you open? And you say, yes, you're in position 1. If I say, would you be open to take a look at a video? And you say, yes, you're in position 2. If you watch that video, position 3. I can use these positions to navigate where I need to take you. But if you're not open to any of those things, I'm not telling you position 2 before position 1. So I'm not going to tell you I have a brief video if I don't know that you're open. See? And so I'm just going to test your openness. And if you do it in a way where it's, hey, if you're open, great. If not, no big deal. Then you shouldn't be blowing the person out of the water. Now, if they are in a network marketer, right? If they're an existing network marketer, which we do not suggest prospect, then you may get made fun of because network marketers are cannibalistic. They like to eat their own. So when someone sends them a message that they don't like, they say, look at this bozo, doofus. Now they may be building rapport forever and not have any results to their name, but they will openly make fun of you because they're like, this is different from what I'm taught, whether they have results or not. And so we don't suggest you prospect existing network marketers because a whole lot of people that are not network marketers. And I just see it like breaking up a home. I'm not going to, I don't suggest that single dudes go to married women and say, hey, you doing anything Saturday? Right? Like, let's not do that. Let's go find other, if you're a single guy, go single whatever you're looking for. Right. And so I'm just not a fan of teaching how to recruit from other companies or anything like that. I know it happens. I'm not, oblivious, but if you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. I don't like teaching that. So I would reach out to people that aren't already in network marketing, which is funny because they're not going to make fun of you. The existing network marketer is though.
Yeah. And then they'll take screenshots and then you'll be the example.
Exactly.
Because 2020, that's why.
And I'll tell you a quick story. So some people will hear that basic kind of script and be like, how does that even work? That's not that impressive. It's not designed to be impressive. It's designed to be scalable. It's designed to be duplicatable. One of our coaching graduates, she came to me and she's like, Ray, my company's got this big bonus. I want to hit it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, follow the script. And it was very similar to what I just said. And she's like, it's just not me. I don't like that, DVD. And I'm like, just do it. Just do the damn script. Like, do it. And let's just check your results in 60 days. Well, she came back to me. She hit that bonus, which was a $220,000 bonus. And she said, why did I fight you so much on this? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure. The end of the day, you want to get your people doing something. And if you're confusing in any way, as soon as you say, get them to know, like, and trust you, they're like, what, bro? Like, that, what do you even mean? What does that mean? Know, like, and trust. Like, what message do I ask them if they're open? 7, 6, 5? Like, it's too confusing. So just being straightforward, because if they don't know you that well, they're wondering what the hell you want anyway. So just get to the point, but do it in a nice way, in a non-spammy way. That's my suggestion.
So I do have a confession to make. I totally build my following on all network marketers because I found it was easier to work with somebody that didn't ask me if it was a pyramid scheme all the time. Yeah. Because they're already in network marketing. But at the same time, I'm just building relationships with these people and waiting for the right time for them to be open versus trying to sway them to jump ship from where they're at if they're currently happy. And I think that has to do with your position, right, of sales. I use the analogy too with dating. It's a lot like that. And for some reason, we forget how relationships work when we get into network marketing. We suddenly like make it weird, and if you're the if you're the guy or the girl at the bar, like if you start chasing the person down, you're going to get yourself into trouble. They are going to run. But if you just have a friendly conversation, and wait for the opportunity, find the need, then it works out much better for sure. And you can't rush to home base if you don't even know if they want to play baseball, right?
Right.
So
Perfect.
you gotta get to know them even a little bit, in initially. But I like your way of saying that you can just use a script. And Ray, I know you're the king of scripts. A lot of my team actually has said I'm using Ray Higdon scripts,
Nice.
and then get results, and which is amazing. So don't be afraid to try something new. You may think, well, it's not going to work for my following, but like Ray just said, the lady that
And we assume you don't have a following, right?
Yeah.
So, like that, we assume that. Now, if you have a following, then great. You have an advantage. That's great. We just assume you don't. I remember I was talking to a company owner and they said, well, I'm going to have my top 10 leaders check out your rank makers. I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. How about you send me like 10 people that have never done anything, but are hungry? Like they, for some reason, they're not getting results, but they're hungry. They've been in it a long time. Send me those people, because we help people reach their first rank all the time that have been in for years. And so like, that's, we're teaching from that base of, we assume you don't have anything, and, and people, whatever, you get the point.
Yeah. But that actually, now we're getting lots of questions in our comments that are like, okay, now I need to know the script. Where can I find all of Ray's secrets? So that actually leads me to my next thing, which is, how do we get more information? How do we get more wisdom from you? Because I know a lot of people are going to want to get more than what we have to offer on this hour call. So I know that you're doing a 14-day challenge that's coming up. I saw it on your Facebook post, and I've had several people message me, I'm about to do Ray Higdon's 14-day challenge. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how people can get involved, and also where to, find your training?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's two different things, because the 14-day challenge is hardcore marketing, and it is the psychology of marketing. It's why certain things work. It's what's the best call to actions to have in your Facebook lives, how to get more engagement, understanding the buy cycle, knowing that only a small percentage of people are ever ready to buy anything. So what do you do with the rest of them? So it's an intense, in-depth marketing discussion and a challenge. If you want more information on that, and we've been running it now, I think 2 years now. I think 2 years this month, maybe. But since we've been running it, it's helped participants generate over 94,000 leads, 7,500 sales or signups, and we've had close to 2,000 people do their first Facebook Live during these challenges. And it's real simple, 14daychallenge.com. That is marketing, how to get people reaching out to you, how to get more engagement, how to get more views, and that sort of thing. And we give away $5,000 in cash throughout the 14 days. It officially starts next Tuesday, 1 week from today. But you can grab a seat at 14daychallenge.com. For scripts and stuff, that's more on the prospecting end. That is in our Rank Makers, community. So you can search for Rank Makers to find the scripts and stuff. Like we have follow-up scripts, closing scripts, reach out scripts, warm market, cold market, all of those different things, because we just don't assume that you are good at communications. And I think there's too much assumptions done in network marketing by trainers, is they just assume they assume that the majority of people in the organization have read books on business. We do not assume that. We assume you don't know what the hell's going on, don't know how to talk to people. Let us go from there and help the average ordinary person, because that's what network marketing is to us. It's the lowest cost, lowest risk, lowest overhead way for the average ordinary person to start a business. And let's help them build an actual business at a time when so many people require, or at least want, the ability to make money from home.
I think that's what makes you a great trainer, is your ability to, relate to the person that's brand new and still remember your days, of when you had the struggle and when you had to learn all these things along the way. It's hard when you become, after you've developed yourself so many years, you kind of lose that connection with where people start you know? So it's important to learn the basics, you know, and not forget the basics. I'm guilty of that myself. I talk about high level stuff and I don't know who can understand or who isn't understanding. So this is a great opportunity for you guys to hop on, learn the basics and the ins and outs of marketing from, you know, a network marketing perspective. So Ray, thank you for hopping on here today. We truly appreciate the time. You guys go check out Rank Makers and go check out the 14daychallenge.com, right? 14daychallenge.com.
right?
And I'm going to do it with you guys. So starts next Tuesday. So let's hop on this and make it happen. I'm excited. Thanks again. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday at our training. Bye, guys.
For having me.